Guys, I'm Ashley and I am an instructor with Living Balance Studios in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm excited to guide you through this core practice today. As you do this practice, please challenge yourself and take care of your body. You know your own physical challenges and your limitations. Please keep in mind that myself, Ashley, personally, and Living Balance Studios cannot be held liable for or responsible for any injuries that you might incur during this practice. And if you wish to see our full disclaimer, please visit our website at www.livingbalancestudios.com. So, let's get started. If you'd like to go ahead and come down to your mat, I'm going to invite you to take a comfortable position on your back. I'm going to remain upright so I can talk to you. If you want to turn on some music or whatever it is that helps you to be inspired, I will invite you to do so. So as you come down to your back, maybe you extend both legs out, maybe you bring the soles of your feet together and allow the knees to gently open. Maybe you bring the palms up or palms down. Maybe you close your eyes, or maybe you leave your eyes just gently open and soften the gaze. Just taking a moment to get nice and comfortable, nice and settled in. And begin to take notice of how your body feels as you lie here on your mat. Taking a nice full inhalation through the nose. And opening the mouth, parting the lips, and taking a full exhalation through the mouth, leaving everything outside your four walls to remain there for this practice. Taking a nice full inhalation through the nose. And as you exhale through the mouth, bringing yourself to the four corners of your mat. Taking another full inhalation through the nose. And as you exhale, bringing yourself within your body. While you're here on your mat, beginning to take notice of how your body feels. Any sort of tightness, any sort of holdings that you might have. And release those with your each exhalation. Notice the fullness of your body as you inhale, the fullness in the abdomen and the heart space and the throat, and that release as you exhale. Perhaps gently lengthening those inhalations and those exhalations. Maybe perhaps counting the inhalations to the count of 4 and the exhalations nice and even. Allowing the belly to fill with oxygen, the heart space, the throat. Taking in that prana, that life force. And as you spend time here on your mat with your breath, beginning to notice what's going on in your mind. No judgment, just notice. Perhaps allowing each exhalation to release one of those thoughts just for the next hour or so. If you release those thoughts to the universe, they'll still be there if they're meant to be. If not, it's okay too. I invite you to create an intention for your practice. Maybe a word, a phrase, a mantra, something that means something to you. Something that'll bring you back to your mat, back to your body, back to your practice if the mind does begin to wander. consciously using your breath to control the mind, and the mind will control the body. On your next inhalation, beginning to bring some movement back into the body by wiggling the fingers and toes. And as you exhale, extending the arms overhead, fingertips as far away from the toes as possible, taking that first stretch, elongating every muscle in the body. And as you exhale, bringing those knees into your chest, giving yourself a hug. Taking one palm to one knee, the other palm to the other, and beginning to make circles on the ceiling with the knees, just gently warming up the hips, allowing the sacrum to remain on the mat. Then taking those circles in the opposite direction. Finding stillness, giving those knees a nice tight squeeze, bringing the forehead toward the knees. And then releasing the soles of the feet to the mat. Keeping the right leg where it is, bringing that ankle of that left leg to cross over that right knee, taking that left hand, pressing into that left knee, just opening up the hip gently. And then bringing those fingertips behind that right knee, taking the elbow of the left arm and pressing it into that left knee as you bring that knee closer to your body, maybe even lifting up, beginning to engage the core a little bit. Extending that right leg if that's a part of your practice, keeping the toes flexed on both feet. One more round of breath here, maybe pulling a little bit deeper. And then lowering the sole of that right foot down to the mat, taking those fingertips and gently resting them behind the ears. We're going to bring that right armpit toward that left knee on an inhale, and exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Working into that left oblique. And 4, 3, using your breath, 2, no pressure on the head, and last one, lower. Extending both arms out to a T. Bringing that knee in close to the chest, and then allowing that left foot to come toward that right hand, taking a nice twist here. And if you wish, taking that right palm and pressing that left knee away, maybe taking the gaze to the left hand. One more round of breath here. And then releasing, coming back to center. Lowering that right foot, releasing that left leg, bringing that ankle of that right foot over that left knee. Toes are engaged. Taking that right palm and pressing into that right knee, opening up that hip first. Bringing the sole of that left foot a little closer to the glute to get a little bit more opening. Then bringing those fingertips behind that left knee, right elbow presses into that right knee, and give yourself a nice stretch here. Feeling that in the glute of that right leg. Extending that left knee, that left leg if you did so on the other side. Both sets of toes are engaged, pointing toward, the left toes are pointing toward your face. Nice full stretch here. Full inhalation, full exhalation. Inhale, maybe a little closer, and then exhale, lower that left foot down to the mat, fingertips behind the ears. Left arm, left armpit toward right knee. Inhale. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Taking it nice and slowly this time. We want to make sure that we're really engaging in that right oblique. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Inhale. Exhale, lower arms to a T. Nice full inhalation. Bring those legs close to the body, and then exhale, taking that twist, gaze toward the right. Maybe taking it a little deeper by taking that left palm, pressing that right knee away from the body. One more round of breath here. Beautiful. Coming back to center, lowering and releasing. Bringing the knees into the chest one more time. Nice full inhalation, full exhalation. Extending the legs straight overhead as if you're standing on the ceiling. Toes pointing back towards your face. Taking the arms overhead and pretend like you're holding a beach ball with those arms. So we're going to inhale and lift that beach ball toward the feet. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. And lift. And lower. And lift. 4, 3, 2, and last one. Inhale and lower. Taking that beach ball to the right. Inhale, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, lift, lower, and 4, and 3, taking it nice and easy, and 2, just a little bit of gentle warm up, and last one, taking it to the left. So just warming up that core slowly. And 3, 2, and last one, and lower. Bringing the soles of the feet down to the mat and taking them a little wider than hips distance and windshield wipering those legs. So taking a nice twist, noticing a little bit of tingling perhaps in the core with our little bit of a warm up to start. And finding stillness. I'm going to set up for a bridge pose, but rather than bringing the feet nice and close into the glutes, we're going to keep them out just a bit so that your fingertips cannot touch those heels. So on an inhalation, we're going to slightly tilt the tailbone up. And as we exhale, we're going to articulate the spine all the way up to a bridge pose so that our knees, our hips, and our shoulders are in one long line. Inhale to lift here, and then exhale, lower all the way down. When the tailbone comes to the mat, bringing the fingertips behind the ears, we're going to take 4 quick little pulses in a crunch. So lifting the chest and lower. Setting up for that bridge. Inhale to lift and bring that spine all the way off the mat, 1 vertebra at a time, and take it right back down. Fingertips behind the ears and pulse. 2, 3, 4. Lower down, inhale, tailbone lifts, and bring that spine all the way off the mat. Hold for your exhalation. Inhale, exhale, lower. Fingertips behind the ears and pulse. 2, 3, 4. 2 more like this. Lifting into your bridge pose. Hold, inhale, exhale, lower. Fingertips behind the ears, pulse. 2, 3, 4. 1 more. We want to keep that bridge pose lifted. We want to really engage those adductors, those inner thighs. So we're bringing them closer in, but keeping the feet where they are. Maybe even lifting the toes to just reassure yourself you're not using the feet to keep you up. You're using the glutes and those adductors pressing together. Lower down, pulse. 2, 3, 4, and lower. Bringing the knees nice and wide, close to the underarms, and bringing the soles of the feet so they're facing toward the ceiling, and taking a happy baby pose. Maybe taking a little bit of a rock with that, or maybe keeping that happy baby still. Perhaps you'd like to extend one leg, bring that in, extend the other, and bring that in. Beautiful. Staying here for just a moment in your happy baby. And then releasing all the way down, taking that big stretch one more time. And then we're going to roll over to our bellies. Bringing the hands so that the fingertips are touching. And then we're going to rest the forehead down on those fingertips in just a moment. I'm going to talk for a second. So we want to keep our feet about hips distance apart. If you want a little less, you can take them a little wider. If you want a little more, you can challenge those feet to stay together. So we're moving into our locust pose. So we're going to start with the bottom. We're going to take it nice and easy. So we want to be very mindful of the lower back here. So we're using our glutes, we're using our hamstrings, we're using our core. So imagine that there's a strawberry underneath your belly button here. And you want to engage that core so that you're not mashing the strawberry. So that's where we want to be. We don't want to press so much into the body. We want to use the body to lift us up. So we're going to lower the forehead down. And on an inhalation, we're going to lift the lower body. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. One more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Now, keeping the lower body glued to the mat. So everything from the hip bones up is going to lift when we lift our upper body. On an inhalation, we're going to lift and lower. Taking this range of motion as big or as small as you wish. 2 more. Pressing into the tops of the feet and lower. Now taking the entire body, we're going to lift on an inhale. We're going to extend the arms out as if we're Superman. Bring the arms back in and then lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, extend. Inhale together. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, extend. Inhale together. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, extend. Inhale, back. Exhale, lower. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. This will be the best one. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Pressing the palms into your mat. We're going to sink back into a child's pose. Really allowing the back to round here. Nice full inhalation in your child's pose. Full exhalation. Maybe putting a bit of movement into your child's pose. And then finding stillness. Tenting the fingertips at the top of your mat. We're going to keep that left hand where it is with the fingertips tented. And we're going to snake that right arm underneath, so threading that needle. The palm of the right hand's facing the ceiling. The hips are nice and even and they're pressing toward the heels. The right temple is on the mat and the left fingertips are tented. Walking those left fingertips over toward the right side of your mat for just a breath. And then walking them back in line with that left shoulder. Pressing into the fingertips to lift yourself up, taking those right fingertips to the top of the mat in line with that right shoulder. Snaking that left arm underneath. Left palm faces the ceiling. Left temple is on the mat. Pressing into those right fingertips so you're isometrically pressing those hips closer to the heels. Taking a breath, walking those fingertips over toward the left side of the mat. And walking them back. Pressing into the right fingertips and that left palm. Bringing both palms down to the mat for just a moment. Then bringing those knees a little bit closer in so they're about hips distance apart. Bringing the arms around, so grabbing those heels with the hands. And then we're going to press up to the crown of the head into our rabbit pose for just a moment. So allowing the spine to round, keeping the gaze toward the knees, not turning the head. One more round of breath. Beautiful. And then coming back, raising back up to your mat. We're going to come into a tabletop position. So our wrists are underneath our shoulders, our knees are underneath our hips, and taking 3 rounds of cat-cow here, continuing to warm up the core. Inhale, lifting the gaze, chin lifts, collarbones spread, the eyes at the elbows are pressing toward each other rather than open. Nice full stretch here. Exhale, round it all back in, pressing into the palms. Fingertips are spread wide. Inhale, shoulders are away from the ears, the gaze lifts. And exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Taking the palms about a half a print ahead, coming to a nice neutral spine. Tucking the toes, we're going to lift the hips into downward facing dog. Taking a moment to really lift up on the toes, lift the hips high to the ceiling, and then lower those heels as far down as they're going to go. Inhale, lifting to the toes. Exhale, melt those heels to the right side. Equal pressure in both palms, opening up that left oblique. Inhale, back to the toes. Exhale, lower the heels to the left. Equal pressure once again in both hands, opening up the right side of the body, maybe even taking the gaze underneath that right arm. And inhale back to the toes, lowering those heels and walking those feet all the way up to the top of your mat, taking as much bend in those knees as necessary. From here, a little closer than hips distance apart, we're going to put a deep bend in the knees, allowing the arms to come behind us. Take a full inhalation here, and as you exhale, rise up into your chair pose. Take a peek at the knees. Knees are tracking over the middle toe, sinking into your chair pose. Keeping the arms lifted or bringing the palms down to heart center, completely up to you. On an inhalation, we're going to lift up to the toes, and exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. You can tell I've been doing this a lot. I'm shaky. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower, and one more inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Lowering all the way down, straightening the knees, or straightening the legs into your forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Opening up the arms, inhale takes you all the way up, and exhale brings you all the way back down. Deep bend in the knees, arms behind you. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, sink. Bringing the palms together at heart center this time. Nice full inhalation, nice and tall. Exhale, crook that right elbow over that left for a nice twist here. Keeping the fingertips together, keeping the thumb at the sternum, taking the gaze over the left shoulder. Beautiful. Inhale and exhale back to center. Inhale, lift slightly. Exhale, crook that elbow, left elbow to the right knee. Taking that twist on the opposite side. Trying to keep those thumbs as close to the sternum as possible. Knees are in line with one another, maybe taking a peek at them. Inhale, exhale back to center. Inhale, lift slightly. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale takes you all the way up, and exhale brings you down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, plant the palms, step back first with the right foot, then with the left. Shift the weight forward, elbows hug tight to the ribs, lower chaturanga halfway. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, right hip leg rises. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, right knee, left elbow. Inhale, right leg rises. Exhale, bring that foot all the way through. Turning that back foot to 90. And when you're ready, cartwheeling up into your warrior two. Beautiful. Inhale here. Exhale, take the gaze over those right fingertips. Sinking into your warrior two. Take a peek. If you can't see that big toe, opening the knee just a bit. Lots of energy in the blade of that left foot. Inhale here. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Your next inhalation, arms come overhead, right leg straightens. Exhale, lower. Inhale, up. Exhale, lower. Core is engaged the entire time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, serve forward. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, forward. Exhale, peaceful. Inhale, forward. Exhale, peaceful. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, sink in case you've lifted a little bit. Bring those fingertips behind the head. Inhale, lift nice and tall here. Exhale, crunch it over. Only the abdomen is moving. Inhale. Exhale. Hips are stable Inhale. Legs are stable and strong. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Lift to the toes of that right foot. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And 2. And last one. Lower that heel. Extend arms. Inhale, warrior 2. Exhale, cartwheel those hands down. Lower that back knee and tuck those toes into a low lunge. Left hip in line with the right. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, cactus those arms, opening up that chest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, opening the heart. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, plant the palms, tuck that back toe, lift that knee, press up into your 3-leg downward facing dog. Inhale here, and then exhale, open that hip, hanging out here, or maybe putting some movement into the hip. Maybe rolling the ankle. Returning to 3-leg down dog, lowering that right foot, shifting the weight forward, high plank pose, lower halfway chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg rises. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, lift. Exhale, mountain climber. Inhale, lift. Exhale, left to right. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bring it through to warrior 2. Turn that back foot. I'm going to switch sides. Turn that back foot to 90 degrees. Nice and strong. Inhale up to warrior 2. Exhale, sink a little deeper. Beautiful. Nice warrior 2. Taking the gaze over those left fingertips. Inhale, straighten and lift. Nice and strong. Exhale, lower. Engaging the quads, the core, the glutes. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Inhale, shift forward. Exhale, peaceful warrior. Inhale, serve it forward. Exhale, peaceful. Inhale, serve it forward. Exhale, peaceful. I think I owe you one more. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, back to warrior 2. Checking that form once again, bringing fingertips behind the ears. Exhale, crunch. Inhale. Exhale. Remember, we're working in the core, so we're not moving the hips around. And 2. And 1. Back to center, lift that heel. Exhale. 2. 3. And 4. Lower, extend. Beautiful, warrior 2. Inhale here. Exhale, cartwheel it down. Lower that back knee, untuck those toes. Low lunge on this side, right hip in line with the left. Bringing it up. Knee tracks over that middle toe, but the knee's not past the ankle. Beautiful, inhale here. Exhale to open. Inhale. Exhale, shining the heart toward the sky. Inhale and exhale. And inhale lifts, and exhale brings those palms to frame that foot. Untuck the toes, lift the knee, coming back up into your 3-leg dog. Taking a big full inhale here, then opening the hip on your exhale. Making some circles, rolling the ankle out. One more round of breath, coming back into your 3-leg dog. Lowering that left foot. Shift the weight forward. Come to the toes. Beautiful. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, lifting up to the toes. And then exhale, bring the heels down. Walking those feet forward. Into your forward fold. Hanging out here in your forward fold for 3 breaths. releasing, bringing the fingertips to the mat, bringing the feet a little wider than hips distance apart, grabbing opposite elbows, and sway. Maybe putting a gentle bend in the knees. And finding stillness. Planting those palms, walking those feet back, hips distance apart. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Beautiful, stepping back into your downward facing dog. Rolling the shoulders away from the ears, lifting the hips up nice and high. 3 breaths. Maybe sighing those breaths out. And then coming down to your knees, bringing them a little wider than hips distance. Sink back into a child's pose for just a moment. And then from that child's pose, sliding those palms towards your body just a bit, bringing the knees under hips, coming into your tabletop position. From here, stepping back with the right foot, then the left into your high plank pose. Nice and strong here. Your gaze is past your fingertips. If we take our gaze straight down, we tend to round our back more. So we'll take our gaze past our fingertips. Beautiful. Extending those right toes so that they come down to your mat. Taking an inhalation here and exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And 4, 3, 2, 1, lower. Beautiful. Inhale to lift those toes this time. Exhale, bring the knee toward the chest, not rounding the spine. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale. This time, taking a crunch to the right side. Exhale. 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 Crunch. 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower. Beautiful. Knees wide, sinking back for just a minute. Shaking out those wrists. We'll come to our plank series on the other side. So first coming in to your high plank pose. You can also do this on your elbows if you wish. Gaze a little. Bringing those toes down, left toes down. Inhale, exhale, lift. And 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale in. Inhale, lift. Exhale. 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 4, 3, 2, 1. Lift, crunch to the side. Exhale. Exhale. And 4, and 3, and 2. Last one. Coming into your high plank pose. Hold it for a breath. And inhale into your downward facing dog. Beautiful. Walking those feet forward. Come between the palms. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms up and over. Exhale, lower it down. Beautiful. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. One more time, sweep it up. Taking a slight back bend. And exhale brings you back down. Beautiful. Planting the palms, stepping back into your downward facing dog. Bringing the knees to the mat and untucking the toes and having a seat on your mat. From here, opening the arms nice and wide as if something's pressing against your palms. So really engaging here. Bringing the left elbow underneath the right, giving yourself a hug. Elbows at chin level. I don't know about you, but I'm sweating. Beautiful. Maybe taking those eagle arms. We're going to inhale and lift the gaze, lift the elbows, and exhale, crunch it forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Pressing into those palms. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale and crunch it. Exhale. Opening the arms nice and wide once again. This time right underneath left. Starting off with a hug. You can stay here or moving into those eagle arms. Inhale to lift. Exhale, crunch it forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch it forward. Inhale, lift. Exhale, crunch it forward. One more time. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to lift, release, shake it out. Coming down to your seat. Extending the feet a little, with the knees or hips distance apart. The feet are maybe almost to the edge of your mat. Extending the arms, palms facing up, and sinking back. So rolling the shoulders back and sinking back just until you feel that engagement into your upper abdominals. Bringing up one foot, then the other. Keeping the toes pointed or flexed, your preference. We just want to keep the shoulders back, the core engaged. You can always straighten one leg, and then the other. Maybe straighten both. Nice full inhalation here. Full exhalation. One more inhalation, lift up slightly. Exhale, hollow it out to canoe. Hold it for a breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. Everything is engaged. 4, 3, 2. Last one. Lift, lower, hold it for a breath. Inhale and lower it all the way down. Bringing the arms overhead, taking that stretch one more time. Beautiful. Bringing that right knee in close to the body. Then just make some circles with it for a moment. Beginning to slow the breath. Nearing the end of our practice. Beautiful. Then taking those left fingertips to the outside of that right knee. Extend the right arm out. Taking an inhalation here. And then exhale, taking a twist. Keeping both sets of shoulders, or both shoulders rather, on your mat. Gaze to the right. One more round of breath here. Noticing breath when you twist is when you're supine. Beautiful. Bringing those knees back to center, giving yourself a little hug. Then extending that right leg, right fingertips to the outside of that left knee. Extend that left arm. Nice full inhalation here. Exhale, twist. Gaze to that right hand if that's comfortable for your head. Allowing the breath slow. Coming back to center, taking that happy baby pose that we took at the beginning of the practice. So knees nice and wide, soles of the feet shine toward the ceiling. Taking those peace fingers between the big toes, or perhaps holding the instep of the foot or the blade of those feet, whatever's comfortable for you. You can keep this happy baby nice and stable and still, or you can rock this happy baby back and forth. Completely up to you. Three more rounds of breath here. Really bringing those knees toward the floor underneath your arms as much as possible. Nice and strong in the core. The sacrum is resting on the mat. Then bringing the knees together. We're going to lift the hips toward the ceiling, bringing the knees toward the face to begin, taking the hands to the low back, extending the legs into your shoulder stand. Nice and strong and stable here. Your gaze is toward the navel. Maybe bringing one set of toes back and then the other. Maybe bringing both back into a plow pose. Wherever you are, we'll be there for 5 breaths. Taking this inversion, listening to your body. Two more breaths wherever you are. Then gently releasing the hands, and we're going to lower down one vertebra at a time. Very gentle. And then once that tailbone comes to the mat, bring the soles of the feet back to the mat, bringing the palms by your hips, and moving to one last bridge pose. So inhale, articulating the spine all the way up, using those inner thighs to bring those knees closer together, keeping the gaze gentle and neutral. Hold that bridge pose, inhale, and exhale down one vertebra at a time. Bringing the knees into the chest, rocking gently from left to right. And then finding stillness. Moving into your final resting pose, your Shavasana. So extending the legs out wide, or maybe bringing the soles of the feet together, whatever is comfortable for you. Releasing any sort of tension, letting your mat take it away. Getting nice and comfortable here. Taking a moment to just follow your breath. Follow the breath all the way from the toes, past the ankles, up the shins, past the knees, up the quads, into the hips, letting it pause at the hips for a moment. Maybe taking an adjustment here to get a little bit more comfortable, allowing the hips to rest. Continuing to follow the breath through the abdomen to the heart, up to the shoulders, and taking another moment to pause at the shoulders. Taking a little wiggle, whatever movement that you might need. Feeling the breath in the fingers, in the palms, the wrists and the forearms. Traveling up the elbow to the biceps and triceps. Pausing again at the shoulders before allowing the breath to travel through the throat, into the face, relaxing the jaw, releasing tension around the eyes, unfurling the brow, and allowing the breath to travel to the crown of your head. Remaining here in this final resting pose. Allowing the breath to travel naturally. Trusting that the breath will know exactly how much to inhale and how much to exhale. Trusting the earth to support your body. On your next inhalation, deepening the breath. Exhaling through the mouth. Beginning to bring some movement back to the body and extending the arms overhead. And bringing the knees into the chest, rolling over to a fetal position on your favorite side. Taking a moment of gratitude. First, thanking yourself for rolling out the mat and taking your time to enjoy this practice, giving yourself that care. And I extend my gratitude to you for allowing me to guide you in this practice. Taking that top hand, pressing yourself up to a comfortable seated position. Taking a moment to grow the spine nice and tall. Allowing the sit bones to rest evenly on the mat. Then bringing your palms together into prayer. Taking your thumbs, pressing them gently on your sternum. Feeling your heartbeat for just a moment. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I wish you peace and joy in your minds, your bodies, and your souls. The light in me sees and acknowledges that beautiful light and energy in all of you. Namaste, my friends.